What's up? Happy Monday, episode 111. Let's have some fun, folks. One, two, three. Let's do it. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Hi. Come on in. Getting set up here. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome, Monday. What's up? Howdy, welcome. It's my evening hour show. Episode 111. 111. There will never be a 111 show. Wow, we do have a great group in here, Ruth. Cheers, everybody. I am on the sarsaparilla, where are we here? Look, I'm doing this tonight. Manhattan Special, sarsaparilla. God, that lens is horrible. Here, look. There we go. I don't know, this is a New York City thing. I mean, if you're from New York, you know what. Yes, Ruth, thank you. So I have two of these shirts. This shirt here, even though it looks 100 years old, is only a few years old. I have another one of the same shirt that I do wear that's 35 years old. If you see me wearing the same shirt with more holes in it, it's like, it's not just 35 years. It's like, it's paper thin. And someone offered me $300 for it once, and I said, hell no. No, I love this shirt. Let me have one more sip here. Wow. So, anywho, welcome. It's Monday, one of my favorite days of the week. It is my favorite day of the week, not one of. I would say my second favorite day of the week. Thursday evening. I don't know. Let me think about that. That's a hard one. But, yeah, thank you very much. Come on in. I got a fun show tonight. A few cool subjects. I almost made tonight a wild card. My cloud bots are down. They changed where it exists in Streamlab, and I can't find it. They might have gotten rid of the games and replaced it with new games. They took Streamlabs, and then they made it where you have to buy apps. This is the future. Everything's an app. When you get a new car, it's going to have no features. They're all apps. That's what it's going to be. And it's a way for them to bang you every month on subscription services and whatnots. They prefer it that way. I can see why. It's funny how all you have to do is just look at how everything works, and you can see exactly where it's all going to go. I don't think corruption is corrupt. I think it's natural. It's just the way it is. It's like as soon as you have something, you want to hold it, and the only way to hold it is to keep increasing. As soon as you stop increasing, it starts decreasing. I hate to say it, it's the will to power. Mama, what's up, Mama? Did you get to see the sunset? You did see the sunset. You told me to go look at it. I did see it up until the last 20 minutes. Yeah. It is too much with all these apps. Oh, yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Hallmark holiday. Even when I was with significant others, I don't think I ever made a big deal out of that holiday. Yeah, not really. Yeah. It's just like, My favorite holidays, it's funny, I don't like my birthday. I could care less. I I don't need my birthday to feel special. I hate when people start announcing their birthday months ahead. I'm just like I don't care. I think my favorite, opportunism. Lilith said it. Yes. Opportunism. It's just the way it is. Once you see it, you can see it everywhere. My favorite holidays are party holidays where, everybody gets around and eats food. Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Christmas, Walpurgisnacht. I can keep going. I do like Walpurgisnacht a lot. It's one of my favorite. It's in a cool spot. We have Easter, and I actually like some of the aesthetics of Easter, like fake grass with eggs, bunnies, chocolate. Love it. Not a fan of the Judeo-Christian meanings, but the pagan behind it, I'm totally into. For me, Walpurgisnacht is the spring witchy holiday that not a lot of people celebrate, and that even makes it kind of fun. Well, Mama, of course you like my birthday, just like I like my kids' birthdays too. Thank you, Mama. Without you, I wouldn't have a birthday. So cheers to you. Yeah, I liked my birthday when I was a little kid, thanks to Mom. But honestly, I don't know why. I don't like when people fuss around me. I don't need it. I get it when I do a show. So I kind of like it there, and that's that. But yeah, this week, what day was it? I don't know. Was it Friday or Saturday? Oh, it was Saturday. It was 60 degrees. I had a barbecue on my porch. I was wearing a t-shirt. No kidding. Me and my mom made hot dogs on the porch. She came over for a Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday it snowed. So, what else? There's been some more UFO news, but you got to look close, because sometimes the UFO news that's new actually came out 3 or 4 years ago, and the news agencies didn't have a story, so they pull it out. And the story about NASA hiring theologians is kind of horseshit. Again, that was an old thing they kind of repackaged. And then the other one is a swarm of UFOs has been sighted, which is, quote, true, but that's part of the old stuff. So it's nothing new. So it got me digging a little bit into this UFO thing that the government's admitting, right? They're finally admitting it. The whole world admitted, the government agencies of the world, Mexico and England and certain countries will admit that there was some weird things going on. But we never did. Well, we finally did. It's real. There are these things called UAPs, and now they have another new name. They keep changing the name. And so, well, what are they? Well, the options are they're from foreign countries, spying. They're from us. We made them. They are alien from another world. They're us from the future. They're another civilization on Earth we don't know about, right? There are these other options. But if you're going to use Occam's razor and go for the most obvious, well, China, Russia, and America have probably some of the most China and America and the U.S., we have some of the most high-tech military stuff. So if I had to make a bet, I would choose one of those, Now, one of these guys, who's a debunker, pointed out something. He said, why is it just the Navy that's out there saying all this? Why isn't the Air Force and the Marines all like, hey, we have them too? And he's like, what if it's the Air Force doing it and the Navy doesn't know? Possible. And the other one is this. The guy said, one of these guys I was looking up was like, if we discover new technology that can do what these things are doing that they say they do, like if we figure out the key to making things move without gravity, honestly, it will change the fabric of reality. Just like if the president went on TV and said, folks, aliens are real, it would change the fabric of all we know that very moment. So if you came to me and you're like, hey, we're going to, what do you think if we release the UFO stuff on the news? What's going to happen? It would be very crazy what would happen. I don't know if people would immediately start killing each other, but it would trigger some series of strange things because it literally changes how our brains see things. We might start to notice things we've never noticed if that comes on TV, meaning it unlocks this other being now real. It's not just a possible thing. No, it really is real. And so to me, it's the same with technology. If they come up with a little, dude, from the Civil War till when we dropped a nuke, that's only 100 years. Think of the difference in like what happened in only 100 years, which is a blink in time. And so if we do have technology that they don't want anybody to know that we have, and they're experimenting under super duper top secret situations, and one of those things is the ability to make something not have gravity or to control the gravity around something. There you go. So I would guess it's that before I say alien. It makes sense. We have things now that if you showed us 20 years ago, we would say it's crazy. So I do a little digging and you'll see. There's a few really good skeptics to the UFO phenomena basically saying like, look, it's like, they show up. Let's just say the Jesus story's real. I personally think it's not real. I'm a mythicist. But let's just give it that he actually got put on the cross and they put him in the stone tomb and the tomb is empty. Well, if you watch Christian apologetics, they'll go, well, the tomb's empty. There's the proof. He rose from the dead. Whoa. So before you get to anything, I can list 100 reasons why the tomb is empty. You're at the wrong tomb. Someone stole the guy. You're in the wrong city. You're in the wrong state. Dude, you can keep going. Somebody was drunk and didn't examine it closely. I can go on and on and on. I literally could try to find 100 different reasons before I get to, well, with magic powers, he rose from the dead. What? How about this? The tomb is empty. Well, an alien life form showed up and put an implant underneath Jesus' skin while he was hanging on the cross, and then when he died, it made him disappear momentarily so that the gods we can keep going on silly possibilities. To me, rising from the dead is silly. It's just as silly as a unicorn. Things don't rise from the dead, never have, never will. It's never happened. And if people go, well, it did once. Yeah. Wrong tomb, lady. Seriously. Really, I can't believe that's one of their main apologies. If you listen to them debate on whether or not Jesus rose from the dead, that's one of the arguments they use. For them, Occam's razor means you go, the most obvious solution's probably it. So for them, Occam's razor is, well, he rose from the dead. And that would be Occam's razor if you believe in an afterlife. Right? It would. If you believe that there's a fairy tale land where everything's perfect, for real, then there he is. There it is. That's Occam's razor. Oh, he went up there. Oh, and then he came back, and I know. So, look up this UFO stuff. Now, I am one of those persons, I'm a debunker and a skeptic, but yet I believe in all of the above. I do. I just have very different versions of what people would think they are. That's all. I have my own way of explaining some supernatural phenomenon that still fits into their mold. I meet people all the time that have experiences that they can't explain, whether it be a UFO or a ghost or whatever. And I believe they had an experience. I might have disagreements of how they interpreted something, but other than that, I can still say, yeah, I get it. You had something happen. That's why when there's mass sightings of UFOs, it's kind of interesting because you're like, wow, like more than one person had this thing, you know? So check it out. So as for reading, I have a bunch of books I'm reading right now, as usual. I finished a week or so ago, Beyond Good and Evil. Now this, I'm not kidding. This now is in my top 10 favorite books ever written in any book I've ever read. I've already started rereading it again. I mean, it's too much now. I might have to get, I mean, this copy is, it's just got writing on every page and it's dog-eared and falling apart already, and it's not that old. But folks, I think this book is like $8 on Amazon. It's even thin. It's not even a big book. Pretty cool. So I went right from that into the Antichrist, and I gotta be honest, I'm almost done with this one. This is very easy. This is not that complicated. Even though he wrote this after Beyond Good and Evil. The Antichrist is one of his last books. It was going to be part of a 4-part series building to like his opus. It never happened. Then I got this copy of Nietzsche's The Gay Science. And I'm going to be honest, the translation I noticed already is a little weird, but I'm going to give it a shot. But the next one I'm going to read for sure right now, I'm getting excited, is Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I'm dying to read this. Anybody in here read it? I'm curious. I got a study guide for it, but it looks easy. It doesn't look too... I mean, I know his concepts now, so I should be able to see them in the flow of the story. Now, here's a book I'm going to recommend I didn't know about. I'm going to put it on the table and give you a good look. I highly recommend this book. I don't know. I remember it called, hey, what's up, Peter? Howdy. Nice new stuff coming out. This book here is a beginner's guide to the book Beyond Good and Evil. It goes through each section, but then it really gets into critique and criticism. The last half of that book has a glossary defining words Nietzsche had different definitions for, which is what tonight's episode is pretty much about. And it does the critique. It shows you how people criticized him and what the rebuttals were. Freaking awesome. That's the fun part of this stuff, is looking at that. So anybody that wants to read Beyond Good and Evil, I highly recommend this book. I think this book is way more money than the book Beyond Good and Evil. It's just a beginner's guide to Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. Gareth Southwell. I don't know. It's worth its weight in gold. This is going to be my other favorite book. And I started reading another book I always wanted to read, even when I was a little kid. And this thing's giant. But I started. I want to read The Prince and take my time and kind of dissect it. So I started. Where I'm at now, and it's not that exciting. The exciting stuff is where he starts to get a little dark. And I can't wait. So those are the books I've been chewing on. I've been reading. I don't have any fiction I'm reading right now. Yeah. I don't know. I have no desire. I mean, Thus Spoke Zarathustra is a story, but I don't have any desire to read a fantasy novel right now. I love reading short sword and sorcery novels. I do like reading role-playing game modules, which are the adventures in which the dungeon master presents his players. I like those because it's an opportunity for me to engage with fiction, but it gets used. So it's functional. Like I have to learn the fiction, because the fiction that I'm going to read is the mind palace I'm going to share with the players. So as I'm learning the story, I'm remembering it differently than if I just read a story. 100%. And to me, it's more engaging because I know I have to share it with somebody else. It's a different way to lock in, you know? I mean, it's why reading groups happen when everybody reads the same book, because now they have somebody to engage about it so they can get deeper meanings out of it, right? That's what that's why. I mean, you can read a book and get a lot out of it, but I need to tell somebody about it. I need to talk about it. I want to debate it, you know? Yeah. I love how my friends in here hook each other up with stuff. It's great. Folks, if you're new to this channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notify. If you're the donating type, please, there it is. You can do it. You don't have to. I'm just looking for subscriptions. But if you donate, it all goes to a good place. Roughing It by Mark Twain. Oh! Is that a Mark Twain like story, or is it just him writing about life? Yeah, I don't think the points are working, Mark. Right now, the bot is down, and I don't know why. I mean, I know why. They've changed it all. What else? Yeah, what the hell? Let's get into the subject. Well, I called today's episode. It's funny. I might have gone with a different title now that I'm sitting here, but I was sitting here and Winter of Our Discontent just popped into my head. I was actually writing. I love writing mean-spirited things. I'm going to be honest. I know some people that don't like that I do that. I've gotten many private messages. Oh, it's a hilarious book. Oh, okay. See, I like Mark Twain, so I would like this. No, I get messages of people, you know, they don't like it when I get mean-spirited about anything. And so when I get really dark, I get messages from people. Because, I'm going to be honest, my Instagram, I have clients on there. I have students. I have musician friends, magician friends, stripper friends, porn star friends, politicians, movie stars. I mean, literally everybody. The bum on the corner has an Instagram. He's on my page. You see? And so I don't really hide myself. I'm pretty open about my opinions on things and my likes and dislikes and whatnots. Not everything, but, some things. I'm pretty honest. And so I've been writing mean-spirited Valentine's Day cards and poems and whatnot. And sometimes it's just for fun. Sometimes I'm actually being mean-spirited. I mean, it depends. So I've been writing this, and I was thinking, now is the winter of our discontent. Today, it was a tease on the weekend with this nice weather, and here comes winter again. It's supposed to be winter. And then I went down a Shakespeare hole and all this. I'm referring to Act 1, Scene 1, King Richard III. Who supposedly really wasn't a bad guy, but it's one of the greatest openings to any Shakespeare play ever. I will say, people ask me if I'll ever act again in a production or anything, and my answer is usually like, maybe. I'm not pursuing that, but I've done it and I like it. I've done a lot of Shakespeare, My mom is in here. She's done a lot of Shakespeare, stage managing and whatnot, and she stage managed a Penn State production of Taming of the Shrew that I was in. Crazy. She was the stage manager. And I was Tranio. Crazy. Anywho, if somebody said dream role, I might say King Richard III. Maybe. Yeah. I would like to play that part. I think I could add something to it. And I would not want to play the part unless I did add something to it. But for anybody that doesn't know the story, it starts with this guy going like, hey, what's up? I I'm going to take that dude out, take over, and get with his lady, and I'm the bad guy. Here we go. I mean, it starts off with like the bad guy talking to the audience and admitting it, which it's kind of cool. You can tell he was having fun with it, Shakespeare. So now is the winter of our discontent made glorious by this son of York. Incredibly poetic, filled with meaning, double meaning. I mean, meaty stuff, folks. Wow, he went on a trip with a church group, and Mark Twain is telling the story. I love it. Yeah, Mark Twain wasn't a fan of church groups, I don't think. So tonight, one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to see if it spawned more thought, was how Nietzsche defined words. And so I'm reading, not Beyond Good and Evil, The Antichrist. I'm probably going to finish it in a week. It's easy. It's like, I mean, I could finish it in a day. I could finish it tonight if I sat here and just read it. It's only, how many pages is this thing? I'm curious. I mean, the intro is just as long. This entire book, The Antichrist, with the intro, is only 73 pages, folks. And so in the book, he uses the word decadence a lot, and he uses it as a derogatory term to certain types of people. They're being decadent, and so-and-so's decadence. And so, at first, because I didn't see him using it that much in Beyond Good and Evil. So I'm like, well, he clearly has a different thought behind this word decadence. He's using it in a different way than I use it. If I say decadence, it's like, what did you guys do last night? It's like, well, it was a night filled with decadence, food, laughter. You know, it's bad things we enjoy. I mean, that's how I use it in passing. Or if I say, well, this guy here's pretty decadent, like meaning he doesn't mind enjoying earthly pleasures to their extremes. Is kind of how I would, I mean, how would you guys define decadence? I'm curious. So, Nietzsche's definition, I'm seeing it in the Antichrist book a lot. And I realized something's different. So I looked it up. Yes, he didn't have this word when he started. He came to it later. But his definition of it, a little different. For him, decadent meant that there was a problem. Houston, we have a problem with the will to power. That's decadence. It's the weakening of the will to power. So he's writing it from the point of view of, like, for instance, if a Puritan is writing the word decadent, they're going to say, that guy's full of decadence. And it's a derogatory term because the guy's indulging in the flesh. Yeah, that piece of cake is decadent. Okay, so the word decadent now, in that case, yes, we use it like that. I love it. That's under it's now an adjective. So, a Puritan, that guy's decadent. He lives a decadent lifestyle. It's flesh-filled. It's full of earthly sin, right? He's using it in the exact opposite. He's flipped it, and he literally is saying, anything that stops my will to power, I consider decadence. And it's much more complex than that. Now, I like that. Because part of my 2-year filter, for those of you that don't know, I pretend like I'm going to croak every day in 2 years. And I take it very seriously. And actually, in the last few weeks, that thought experiment that I pretty much try to do daily throughout the day has made me make some decisions that are very cut and dry, get the hell out kind of and so after doing it, you're like, wow, did I need to do that? Well, if you're going to die in 2 years, would you have done that? And the answer is yes. I realized that those decisions are kind of that. It's me realizing something stopping my will to power for whatever that may be. So, okay. So check this out. This is where this is fun. Now, will to power, something being decadent to you, like that's a decadent behavior, it can get divided into two parts. One is the organism itself. The second is cultural. I mean, you could have in your own mind. See, okay, let's go to this. In the world of Nietzsche, the I, the me, who I am, isn't one. It's actually a few different mechanics fighting each other. We have an instinct to do this, and we have a will to do this, and they're kind of at war with each other. And some people, you can look at them and go, that's the dominant feature of his mind, is that. That's why he makes those decisions. I was having a talk with my friend today about, someone's trying to lose weight, and they're constantly trying to, hey, I want to lose weight, and they don't. Well, that means their will to eat is stronger than their will to want to look a certain way or not, to exercise. And so there's a war right there. And the other one is cultural, meaning the world we live in being decadent, curtailing the will to power. And in the Nietzschean world, Socrates is the main guy for where it changed. He uses him. I mean, even though it wasn't actually him, but he uses him as like the starting point to a decadent new world. It's so weird when I say the word decadent in that context. It feels different. And I like it. It's cool. It's making my brain do some weird stuff. So you have Socrates, who thinks that there's these two worlds. There's the reality, and then there's this world of ideals. And he is like, that's not good. You're starting down a bad path by doing that. Because it's not real. And not only is it not real, you're basically saying life sucks. Because life is change. Change is pain. Therefore, your perfect world of ideals, or heaven, it became heaven eventually, it is that too, is better because it's never changing and perfect, which is silly. Paul of the Bible, that's the other one. He's like, look, here it is. He even went on Wagner. He was a fan of Wagner's work, and Wagner, he attacked him for being nationalistic, which is funny because the Nazis liked Nietzsche, but even though he was not that at all. I think Nietzsche thought of himself as a European, not a German. He thought that was weird. Like, I think he would think, anybody that's too nationalistic, obviously there's a problem. When you meet somebody that wears their heritage so on the front, you're like, what? You don't have anything else interesting? That's it? Anybody who wears one flag too loud, you're like, okay, you must not have anything interesting under that. That's why you're flying it that way, And so, honestly, oh yeah, Nietzsche, okay. What did I write here? Slave morale. Well, that's what he was getting to with this whole notion. It's like, you've got your internal battle, and then you have the external world, and they're going down a certain path. Your brain is wired to do certain things, yet the external world has shaped us in another manner. So there is there's a battle, and something has to overcome. That's why I didn't get the whole notion of will to power right away. I was like, what do you mean to be powerful? Not everybody wants to be powerful. It's beyond that. That's why this concept is so cool. It's because it kind of fits on all sorts of different situations. I don't like laws anymore. I mean that on a large level. I mean, I don't like for instance, we have science laws. You know, this is this is that. And they know now some of those are debatable. They're finding some new stuff that's like, I don't know. We don't know how this works. Maybe those laws they only work here. But if we pick those laws up and move them over here, they ain't working, right? I'm like that with the philosophy stuff and how the world works. It might work here, but it ain't going to work there. It is relative. Look at democracy and republics. You know, there's clearly places on earth that if you plop a democracy, it's not going to work. You have to look at where they're coming from, what their history is, that's why like when I have to talk to people about free speech law and stuff, or even gun law, they'll go, well, look over here. And I'm like, yeah, but their background is completely different. Completely different. If you follow the trajectory of their history, it's not the same. There are different groups of people coming together for different reasons. Therefore, they're going to have different laws. They're going to have a different way. You know, in Japan, the people there don't mind that the cops can come in your house whenever they want. Or search your pockets, for that matter. They don't mind it. Why? They're different. I would mind that. I think most of you would too. Anybody out there mind if the cops could just randomly search whoever they want, whenever they want, however they want? Well, yeah, science is ever evolving. That's why it's science. Science likes to be proved wrong. Science is like, I'm science, don't say anything. And then when you prove it wrong, you win a prize. Yay. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Carl Sagan said it. Science is the best system we have today. It's not perfect. It's the best, it's the most functioning one today. Clearly. I wouldn't be doing this show unless we had scientists. I mean, clearly, a body of knowledge that they've accumulated over the years works. Mostly. Depends on the cop. Yeah, exactly. Anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to throw out. Now I want to spin all of these ideas. I wanted to throw out this notion of using the word decadence in this flipped manner. And I'm not kidding. Once I started seeing, well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The population is large. I don't think our evolutionary biology we evolved to adapt, but I don't know if we evolved this quickly to live in a city with 8 million people. Because in that situation, the individual part gets a little muddled. You know, when you have a society that large, it seems very easy that you could flip it, you know? And so things have to change, right? It's a mess. It's a complicated mess. I don't have the answers. And the people that say they have the answers, I don't think have the answers. I like to look at all the world's problems a little bit like the absurdists. There's no point, and it's up to you to figure it out. And if you're looking for somebody else to figure it out, then don't forget they're in the same boat as you. Same. That's it. And so it's a spin. It's a circle. That's why I don't care anymore. I honestly stopped a little while ago. I mean, I care, about certain things that affect my way of feeding myself, my way of working as an artist. So as an artist, I meaning a performing artist, musician guy, whatever, I need to be able to exercise whatever I want, however I want, make a record I want, write a story I want. You know, the book that I'm working on now, I can guarantee you in a lot of countries, it's going to be illegal. 100%. It will not be legal. And the book I'm writing right now, I compare it to the Anarchist Cookbook. Yeah. And I think it's going to make people's heads spin a little bit. And so I look at that and I'm like, God, the book I'm writing, I'm going to get probably some death threats for it. It will be not allowed in certain countries. If someone's caught with the book I'm going to write in some countries, that would be grounds for the death penalty. Not kidding. So, it's just a book, right? Crazy. So I'm interested in that. I focus there. Why? Because it's what I do, and I know a lot about it. I mean, at least in my situation. So that's why I don't mind. The free speech debate to me is a fun one. This group here, I don't have to go into it much with. We all know. But I do meet people that say some shocking things that are very, they'll say things that I'm like, really? You think that should be banned? And then I'll go, and by whom? And they'll go, by, so-and-so. And I go, so what if this guy's in charge? And they're literally will go, oh, well, then that's different. And I go, you see the problem, dummy. So, well, I think it might be that, Ruth. Let's see. Yes, Ruth publishes books, folks. Yeah, let's see, maybe. I'm now starting to crank it a bit. We'll see. It's funny because I started to rewrite things. Yeah. I don't consider myself a writer in any stretch of the word. So I'm new to this. So I wrote stuff four years ago. I look at it now and I'm like, I can fix that. Yeah, we'll see. But I do think the book will, there's going to be countries it's illegal, which is fine. If they ban it, it will, it'll help it sell, right? That's what made Dungeons and Dragons popular when the religious people said it was evil. Crank up the heavy metal and call your friends. I mean, that's evil. Of course kids want it. That's just it. I mean, when they put the tipper stickers on the CDs, remember those tipper stickers? People forget that was the left doing that. Crazy. They were having to put warning labels on records. My goodness. I think it's funny they haven't gone back to that. I mean, really, I have my record collection, I would say 80% of it counts as hate speech. Seriously. Heavy metal records, punk rock records, hate speech. Hopefully not in Canada. Well, Canada doesn't have the same free speech law we have. No, they do not. Yep. They're starting to pass some weird stuff up there with speech, yeah. I think you have some hate speech laws. I'm not into hate speech laws. I think hate speech is good. I do. I think hate speech is only hate speech by the interpreter. Because I have things that I'll say that gets taken as hate speech. And people that would never even dream of being hateful will say something that I'll take as hateful. To me, hate is relative. And why people hate is relative. And hate can be used artistically to make a point. I can go on. You don't need to hear me go on. Like I said, for me, bad information, misinformation, weekly worldly news, Inquirer, fiction, mixed fiction, religious extremists who have televangelists, people that make up stories and publish them as fact, to me, it's all good. I'll take it all. Give me more. If it's causing people harm, to me, that's not my problem. Australia, you have some other stuff down there. Yes. Actually, the United States, I think, has the best laws right now for an artist trying to exercise free speech. I think we do. I think we pretty much is hate is decadent. Well, or not. You could say exercising your dislike is actually a will to power. Yeah. But honestly, I don't, I think we do have some of the best, speech law. I do. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I found out Poland had still blasphemy law. Wild. Can't believe that. Blasphemy law? Insulting someone's God in Poland can get you put in slammer. Yeah. I remember, I'll never forget this. This just popped into my head. When I was a little kid, I spent a lot of time by myself. Even like if my dad had to go to work on a Saturday, he would bring me and then I'd be alone in a room all day. And what would I do? I'd practice magic tricks, read books, draw, I would be busy. Well, I'm not sporty. I mean, I like skateboarding and swimming and surfing and all that kind of stuff. But team sports and even my family are tennis players. I wasn't a sporty guy. But my parents all played tennis, and my mother's a runner, and my father's a tennis player. And so they would go to the, the tennis courts. And they would have a baseball field and the tennis courts and this and that and the other. And so, oh yeah, you're right, Ruth. Oh yeah, this is all good. Laws are one thing, but yeah, this is good. I'm going to read all this in a second. And so they would bring me to, this park where they would play tennis. It's a public park. And I would just run around and make friends with the kids in the park. And we would ride swings and watch the Little League game and just kind of run wild in the neighborhood. And I'll never forget this. There was a swing set in Mansion Park, Altoona, Pennsylvania. And I saw a little boy pushing a swing and talking to his invisible friend. Whatever. I was like, I saw him doing it and thought nothing of it. And a few minutes goes by, and I remember two boys starting to pick on the guy. And I remember them literally going up to the swing and being like, and punching this guy's invisible friend, and the kid having a meltdown. And I was like, I was like probably 8 years old. I remember it back then being like, this is nuts. I don't know why these guys are doing this, because they were a little older, but not that older. And why is this guy losing his mind? Black metal in Poland doing really well. Well, exactly. That's why. Yeah. That guy from Behemoth got a lot of heat, Laws are one thing, but deplatforming you through cancel culture is another. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, dude, there are people out there I don't like that are deplatformed on all platforms. And I know people that get good. Trump, he's deplatformed. And people are like, good, he should be. But I'm like, no, he shouldn't be. That is dangerous. That is so dangerous. That's like if you ban the KKK, they don't go anywhere. It's actually more dangerous when you ban them. It gives them the power to coagulate and then go underground. It's not. I want things to be up in front, even if they're bad. Yes, sodomy laws we do. They don't enforce them. I mean, how do you even enforce that? I've read some cases where they tried to. It's hard. I think they use them in rape cases. That's why. Which is like, to me, it's all bad at that point. Like, wow. Well, it's like hate speech law. If you yell a racial slur and punch somebody, that's hate. That's hate. If you don't yell the racial slur, punch the guy and steal his wallet, that doesn't count as hate. Now, I mean, hate speech to me, it's got a little bit of a hierarchy, right? You've got certain groups that count and certain groups that don't count. If I get beat up for being atheist, I don't think anybody's going to care. If the Christians beat me up and said, you're an atheist, does that hate? I mean, it's hate. To me, all crime is hate. If you're poor and you beat up the rich guy, you hate rich people. That's a classicist. I don't know. It's all semantics. But yeah, black metal is a good example. I don't know the laws in Norway, in the Scandinavian countries with free speech. I'm not sure. But yo, dude, this country, we invented rock and roll, jazz, and a million other art forms. We are the melting pot. Queens, New York, more languages spoken here than anywhere on earth. That means something. That means something. You have that many people getting along mostly, living this close together, making art. You are going to get some cool stuff for sure. That's where all this philosophy crap came from. In Greece, where all the boats were coming in and all the people from all over the world were doing trading, and you know, there were these people coming here and these people, there was Africans, and then there was Middle Easterns and the Europeans and the Asians, and they were all coming over, and the birth of what we would call philosophy came from that. It was a melting pot, you know? Look at Rome, another melting pot. Oh, I have Neanderthal blood, I think. My daughter did a DNA, and it came up Neanderthal. There's some in there. She had, I think, 2% or something, and that means I have more probably. Pretty cool. I love it. I wonder if somebody out there has a lot of Neanderthal, if they can qualify as some sort of minority group. How wild would that be? That is beyond even like a native thing. That is like, you're of another, there's like, you know, there were times on Earth when there were literally dwarves, hobbits, and elves. You know? Different human types living together. Weird. I love it. Neanderthal, I don't know what they know of their cognitive. Somebody I know said they might have been cognitively pretty much the same, but their numbers didn't match us. I don't know. I mean, they definitely look more caveman. Like they have a big, thick brow. Like when you see a drawing of a caveman, Neanderthal looks like that. They have a big brow. I think they're a little squattier. Very cool. Captain Caveman. What else? I got 5 minutes here. Exactly. Neanderthal rights. Like, what if someone's 10% Neanderthal? Wow. I'm 10% Neanderthal. I love it. There was one other thing I was going to talk about before I bounce. There was something else about Nietzsche. Damn it. Oh, anywho, I highly recommend some of these books. The thing is, I keep thinking, why wasn't Nietzsche canceled? He's never been canceled. He's easy to cancel, yet no one's that I can see has been successful. For instance, when the book Antichrist was written, I mean, if someone wrote a book now with that title, it would get noticed. That's a pretty strong title. When Christopher Hitchens wrote the title God is Not Great, that, he could have put himself on a fatwa list. I'm not kidding. I mean, the Satanic Verses put Salman Rushdie on the fatwa list. And the fatwa list is like, go kill him. He's open game. And so the title God is Not Great is actually making fun of the Arabic phrase Allah Akbar. Allahu Akbar. God is great. And he did that on purpose. He was being inflammatory. There's a really good video of Hitch and a Muslim journalist on a news program, and they are both debating the cartoonist getting killed. And the Muslim journalist says kind of what the Pope said, which is, hey, we still have to be respectful of people's beliefs. And Hitch rips the guy a new butt right there. He's like, too bad. I thought when the cartoonists got murdered by the Muslim guys, every newspaper on the front page should have put the cartoon. What are they going to do? Kill every journalist in the world? I mean, really, I really thought that was the solution. Sorry, but we don't care that you're offended. This is our value. Our value of free speech trumps your religious value. Because one of them can include this. The other doesn't include anything. Guess which one should leave? That's how I always saw it. It's a very easy equation. One of these systems allows for the other. The other system does not allow for the other. Which one do we go with? Obviously. Yes, Peter. It's a really good clip. He literally looks at the guy as he's talking and says, white noise. White noise! We need people like Hitch. He was mean-spirited for a reason, and I don't mind that. There are times for mean-spiritedness. It just helps with it helps with the scissor snip of removing. Yeah, I miss Hitch. I miss his energy. I miss his bite, his humor, his dry wit. The guy was cool. I should do a show on him. I have a book over here by him I haven't read yet, and I don't know if I want to read it. It's the Mortality Book. It's the book he wrote when he was dying. And I will read it eventually because I'm sure the insight in it is mind-blowing. But I started to read it, and it's pretty heavy, folks. I mean, he literally talks about the whole process. So I will get to it. Yeah, Hitch is... the other thing to watch, if you want to watch something. Christopher Hitchens debating a Catholic cardinal in a church on whether or not the Catholic Church is a force of good. Whew. Breathtaking. His sarcasm. Okay, I don't like sarcastic humor, but his I liked because it was an open attack most of the time. It wasn't a him sneaky attack. It was so like, bah. I think I'm going to be watching some Hitch tonight. So look up Hitchens debating this cardinal on the Catholic Church. It's a long debate, but the thing to watch for is, and you don't have to watch anything else, watch Hitch do his opening remarks. Oh, you've seen it too, Francis. All right. Yeah, he starts, mind you, he's in a church. The whole front of the audience are nuns and bishops and priests, and there's a cardinal. And he basically goes, hey, before we start the debate, you, my friend, have some apologies to do for your church. And the list is unbelievable. And then when he's done, after this long thing, he goes, oh, and then he goes into the modern stuff. Woo, it's breathtaking. If you see that, I can't believe that it's still allowed to go on. Like any organization that had that much accusation of abuse, they would be gone in a second. You know, people say the Boy Scouts had it. No, not like that. No, not for 1,000 years. I mean, come on. Let's be honest here. Yes, of course they have problems, but not like that. I mean, in my personal family, there are cases of it. I mean, it's so prevalent. Crazy. Everybody I know has a story about it. It's unbelievable. I don't know if you noticed, and I'll end on this. They're trying to spin now the Nazi Pope, Ratzinger. They're giving him a little, like, I think he's probably going to croak soon. And so he recently did like a little apology, like, because under his watch, they were hiding stuff. People don't realize the third highest Catholic in the world was a cardinal. He's the Australian cardinal. What's his name? He's literally the third highest ranked Catholic on earth. He was busted. This is Ratzinger's best buddy. I mean, these are all friends. It's so bad. Any other organization would be gone. The only way it will ever stop, ever, is if the Catholic Church starts teaching that popes, priests, bishops, don't have magic powers. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Because I was told when I was little, priests have magic powers. Clearly. So when that happens, I think we'll see a shift. As long as they have magic powers, they can kind of do whatever they want. No one will bother them. You guys rule. What a fun show. Who's in here? Yeah, there's a lot of great people in here. I mean, this is like a powerhouse of artists and thinkers. This is fun. Yes. Yeah. Francis, you're right. Yeah, they show the nuns in the front row. They're just like, and Hitchens is up there just like raging good. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, I had a good time tonight. I have some thinking to do. And thank you. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notify. The subscribe button is the one I'm trying to hustle, and that is down here somewhere. Somewhere over there. Down there. There's a little box. Yeah, and if you're the donating type, sure, go ahead. I take them. They all go to my life, which is performing full time, and it goes right into the show. Well, Lilith, thank you. This show's great because of people like you watching it. That's it. We got a good group in here, thought-provoking. I am not any authority in anything other than myself. That's it. These are all my opinions and my thoughts and me chewing on ideas and learning. And yes, I change my opinions when I'm presented with stuff that makes sense. And so that's all this show is. And I'm glad it seems to be people are having fun chewing on some of these ideas. I'm going to keep rolling with it. I'm having a blast. Next week, what's this week? Wednesday night, I'm busy. Friday. So this week, I start to get busy. I have gigs. They're coming in. I have a double header on Saturday and one on Sunday. Saturday night, I'm at Slipper Room. Actually, I'm at the Rockaway Hotel. Then the Slipper Room in Manhattan, which I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to be driving like a freak. I think Sunday night, I'm at Bowery Electric singing in the Elvis tribute. I think. I have to check. Thank you, Peter. Yes, you too, man. Productive is good. Getting things done is good. Making art is good. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Everybody in here. Have a great week. Stay warm. It got cold again. We got teased with the heat. But look, spring's on the way. It's going to be summer fun. And for me, it's a 3-month party once the weather gets warm. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to take us out with our outro. And, yeah. What a great night. It's Monday. Everybody, party on and be safe. Later.
You failed. You failed. It is time, Chaka. It is time, Chaka.
No, Cardone! Chaka, the ring, Chaka. Chaka-poo, Chaka-poo. It's time for you, Chaka.